Hi Flosstube, Tammy Spruce here at Spruced Up Stitching. It's been a while since I restarted. I think my last video was November. Life has been lifing, and really there's not much else I can say. Things will become probably apparent about what I mean as we go through this journey together, maybe even some today from the WIPs. This is going to be a bit of a WIP parade and some finishes, and we'll talk about a little bit about the Scottish Stitching Retreat that happened in March, a tiny bit of market purchases that I did. I only have 3, but one of them is going to be a SAL in November. Yeah, so why don't we get a little bit started? There have been some changes to my WIPs, and we'll talk about those as we go, I think. But the first thing, I do have notes, so if you see me looking at things, sorry, I didn't want to forget anything. I have everything. Some bags are open, some aren't because they're strategically placed and they might not stand if I do that. But the first thing we're going to do is I have a little notebook that I keep track of when my starts and my finishes. I also keep track of daily stitching, but that's somewhere else and that's not important. But the first thing we're going to talk about is my New Year, New Start on January 1st. So I decided to take part in the Haid SAL this year. You cannot join the SAL anymore. There was a number of charts you could choose, and I chose Haid Bunny. Now just let me, well, Innocent Dreams it's called. And this is the mock-up. I hope there's not too much glare. So it's a little bunny and a cabbage. I had to do this. This is in honor of my late daughter who loved bunnies and ladybugs and loved her Cabbage Patch dolls. And we are coming up to the 2nd anniversary of her passing on April the 8th. So it's kind of poignant today. But this is where I am at. There are hoop marks and there's one thread because I am about to work on this today. So I am not quite done the first part. The second part was released early. I hope that you can hear me through there. I have one more diagonal. I just already started it, but this will be the end of the piece. And this is the end of the 3rd page. So the rules for this are if you finish 6 pages by the end of the year, you get all the charts for free. We have got a couple of free charts already because we got 2,000 members joining the SAL. If you finish the whole thing, you get all the charts plus a chart of your choice off of the website, off the Heaven and Earth Designs website. So I am doing enough daily stitches to finish it, the whole thing. It works out to have some numbers here somewhere. There are 85,264 stitches. It's 292 by 292. I am doing this 25 count easy guide. I never know if it's easy count or easy guide. It's 10 by 10 blocks. And I am doing it 1/1 full cross. So to do the whole thing, you would have to do 233.6 stitches a day, so 234. I am averaging closer to between 250 and 300 over the course of the year so far. I do try to get 300 on my days off and 250 when I have a work day. Now, I am retiring on the 10th of April, so I will have a lot more days of 300. So right now I am sitting at 23,079 stitches, and I did forget to mark down how many percentage that was, but it's over 40% of both installments now. Close to 80% of the first installment, if not over. So I am 8 days ahead for getting it all done by the end of the year. So I'm pretty happy with that. It lives in this beautiful bag. Now you may have seen this bag if you watch Stuart's and Stitches. He made this for another friend of ours and then had more fabric and so asked me, do you want this? And I went, yes, please. So I purchased this bag from him, and it holds all my threads, and I keep all of my threads for a large project like that in one, and it's just perfect. It also has other things that lives here currently. So in terms of temperature stitching, this doesn't take effect for that because that is a daily stitching piece. Then what happened in January was on the 9th, I had a new start. Heart in hand, Mr. and Mrs. This is a gift for a wedding that I plan to be going to back in Canada in July. The bride and the groom picked this chart. I finished it on the 24th of January. I am not removing the plastic protection because it does need to go with me, but this is the finish. And I finished it as close as possible to the framing job that was there. So, and it was important to me to do gift stitching. It was one of my WIP Go pieces. I'm not really keeping up with WIP Go right now though, so I will probably catch up. Then I also had another finish. I had started it in 2024, but I had another finish, which was Moo Ella DeVille by Pedal Pusher. It's part of the Halloween Hoedown series that Barbie created. My granddaughter Ella, so Moo Ella, is absolutely obsessed with cows. So this had to be done. I have not got this framed yet. Her birthday's in September. I may give it to her then. It is done on a piece of, I do believe it's 16 count cauldron by Picture This Plus. She's really special. And I have seen, I think it's Rami's Creations, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Has something called the Moomy, which is a cow dressed up as a mummy. So I may do that as well. And then I started on the 26th of January. I started Candlemas by the Little Stitcher. Now I don't have a picture of this. It was a PDF. I don't need a picture because it's finished. This is my finish. I love snowdrops. You're there. You might be seeing the white better there. I did her woodland advent calendar. Oh, not advent calendar. I suppose it's kind of like an advent wreath, only it's a straight sampler sort of. And Candlemas is the 2nd of February, is the day that Jesus was taken to the temple. So Candlemas is my birthday. So I decided that I would do this in honor of my birthday. But I didn't want to start it on my birthday because I got a Christmas gift from my husband that I started that day instead. So those are my three finishes so far for the year. 3, yeah. Okay, so then in February, on my birthday, February the 2nd, start. And that was Rome, and it's here. Now, this was a gift from my husband. It was a kit. It's a Taya Governor kit. I have no idea how he even heard of her, to be honest. But this is the piece. I don't want to always. It is stunning. We went to Rome a few years ago, 2019. At the end of January, beginning of February, we were there for my birthday. So, her pieces are stunning. They absolutely are stunning. But I have not got a lot done on this. I actually have it's on black. This is my start, and that's the way it goes because the selvage is at the top. I started in the middle on this. This is a blanket, and I do need to do something better with the ends. Right now they're just taped off, and because that's all I had. But now I have a working sewing machine, so I will do something. It's black. Yikes. But I do love it. It's very tiny. What is it? What is, I'm trying to see what it is. Does it tell me? It's going to be 20. No, that's a different piece. It's huge. All I'm going to say is it's huge. I don't know all the stats for it without digging too much. That's I had a start and that was it. I will be joining temperature stitching to get more done. And it lives in this bag by my friend Jennifer. And then, have I had any more? Yes. I finished Candlemas, sorry, on the 2nd of March. So I didn't stitch on it every day, but it took a month. I had a new start on the 15th of March, which while I was at the Scottish Stitching Retreat. And I started this Whilst Iris Snaps Spring Bunny. I don't know if I'm going to put the pom-pom on or not. It depends on how I finish it. I think it's cute. There's a lot of stitching in this piece and a lot of color changes in the border. And I am doing the border first. And this is where I'm at. I would like to have this done for Easter, which is the 20th of April, so it may get a bit more focus this month. It's a combination of, oh, I'm doing this on a piece of Weigart marble. It's a pink marble. I don't know the name of it, sorry. I have a lot of it in my stash. It's a combination of Weeks Dye Works. I think there might be a Gast in here, maybe not, and DMC. Not that many colors, and it really once I get the border done, then it won't be so bad to get the bunny going. So that is all of my new starts and finishes. So now we will go on to WIPs and we will talk about temperature stitching as we do that. So the hay SAL is not part of my temperature stitching. The spring bunny is, and that is if the temperature ends in a 2. So I'm doing this like the standard Jen the Caffeinated Crafter, Stewart's and Stitches are doing it. If the temperature for that day ends in a specific number, regardless, we'll say 2. It's going to be 18 today, potentially, and it's already 14. So then that's the project that gets 100 stitches that day. So if it's supposed to be 18 today, oh dear. Okay, spring bunny is 2. So for if it's 2 degrees or 12 degrees, it's going to get stitched on until, and in that case, until it's done. I haven't really set any limits for the other piece of my WIP because I only have 10 WIPs. Actually, that includes the hay SAL, so I have to create another one or double up for one of the numbers. So we'll talk about that as we get there. So then we will look at 0. I don't have one for, so I may start a Prairie Schooler Santa or one of the other ornaments in Starry Night. I'll probably go with Starry Night because I would like that whole set to be a gift for Christmas for someone. So we'll see what happens when it gets to be a 0, and I'll just go with it. So 1 will be Watchers of the Dawn. It's a Long Dog sampler piece. I do have it here. I am only, this is the whole entire piece. It is full coverage, but I am only doing this section with the dog, just the dog. And that is, can you see that? I don't know. That is for a gift for my eldest granddaughter. I will at some point be doing this thistle piece for me because although I am Canadian, I live in Scotland, um, and I have done for over a decade now. So it's meaningful to me. So that will be that. And this is where I am on the piece. I just have to finish the grass and the body. Now, because I am doing this on Pattern Keeper, I am going to finish the grass first. I'm not quite finished that. I think I have almost 7,000 stitches in here, and I have somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 left to do, and then this piece is done. Um, the body is all, I've done everything but that fill in, so I can use that as a travel piece or hospital appointments and doctor's appointments, those kinds of waiting around things. So I really am enjoying it. Sorry. Number 2 was Spring Bunny. We talked about that and you just saw it. Number 3 is Quaker Flags from Visitors. And that lives in my Evertote bag from a number of years ago. I keep a lot of Canadian patriotic pieces in here. So this is my current patriotic piece. Again, this is on 25 count. And this is where I am. My husband is English, so I think this is all the way over. Not 100% sure, but I think this is the end of the piece. So this flag will be part of the Union flag and part of the Canadian flag. And you can see I'm in both. I love this. I am stitching the white. I changed the gray to 3865. And I do love it. Making sure you have the front and not the back. It's Quaker style. So this piece got most of its work during World Cup soccer for Canadians, football for the British or Europeans watching. The World Cup, the Euros, and the Olympics. And I will be bringing this out to focus on during the Stanley Cup playoffs, which is hockey, ice hockey, for Canadian teams. For every win that a Canadian team has in the playoffs, it will get, that depends how many teams there are that make it. If there's only 3, it's going to be, 100 each. But if it's like 6, which it won't be, then it'll only get 50, except for the Toronto Maple Leafs, which will get 100 regardless. So that is number 4. If the temperature ends in a 4, will be my Quick Stitch Museum Shelf from Heaven and Earth Designs. It is artwork by Amy Stewart. I think that's in here. Another Stewart's and Stitches bag. This was, I think, the first bag I bought from him at a retreat. This has a little bit of history. This was my first ever full coverage of this magnitude. I have done small full coverages before, no issues, but this is the first time I've ever attempted something like Heaven and Earth Designs or anything like that. I have gone, crazy now buying stuff from, I have some Gecko Rouge PDFs because I was a member of the Patreon. I have some Stitches So Beautiful. I have other ones too. I can't even remember. Cross Stitch Studio that I love. This is my start. I will bring up, sorry, I forgot the preview. This is, I chose this because, I love the art. This is the one with all the paintings and the sculptures. And two of my very favorite paintings are in here. And that would be The Birth of Venus by Botticelli and Starry Night by Van Gogh. And you've got the girl in the pearl earring, the Mona Lisa. It's just, I love it. It is, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm not sure. There's nothing quick about a quick stitch though. When I started this, I was doing one thread at a time, basically until I ran out, and it ended up being a little bit of cross country. This is 25 count, and I was doing 1/1. Sometimes I forgot and did 2/1. Sometimes I forgot and did 10 stitch. I never found my groove with it, and I thought that it might be the fabric. So I changed to a 20. I got a piece of 20 count because I discovered I really like 20 count when I stitched Pandemic. But now, after doing the Innocent Dreams, the Hate Bunny, I got into a groove and I started trying different things. And, you know, I started out with 5,700 stitches in January and then 7,500 stitches in February. And I've done over 10,000 in March because I finally found what works for me with these. And that's definitely stitching on a diagonal as a rule and trying to forget about all of the cross country stitching. And if that's your jam, and that's great. I tried that because I used to be a cross country stitcher. I thought, oh, that'll work great. It didn't work so great on this. I don't know if it was the counting that it's a lot of counting and a lot of color changes. There's a lot of confetti. But so this sat in timeout for a while. I am going to keep at this on this count. I'm not going to change the fabric. I am really enjoying my bunny. So I think that now that I've got it, I'm going to, what Jen likes to say, diagonalize the piece. And I am going to put some stitches in it. So that is number 4. We'll put that there. I'll clean that up later. Number 5, Glencoe. This is an anchor kit. We used to go to Glencoe a lot and walk around the lock-in, and this looks like the lock-in to me, and we used to stay there, and it just means a lot to me. And this is it. It is an anchor kit. I got this as a raffle prize off the table at one of the Scottish stitching retreats some time ago, and it's at, but I just have to think. This is where I've gotten to. And I have been stitching on this a little bit this year. This was, so Quaker Flag, I actually did some WIP Go stitches, and this I did some WIP Go stitches. So, yeah. This is, I started this in the middle. So, yeah. So I'm over this way. It's just using the kit fabric, kit threads. I did have to get some more 275, which I could get, so that was okay because I think anchor threads are discontinued now. I do like this, so that will be coming out for number 5. One of my favorites. This is what I call my comfort stitch, and I really need it. So number 6 is Peacock Keeper by Lindy Stitches. This is probably my oldest WIP right now. I love the colors. I need to get some threads. I'm running out of threads. It's some classic colorworks, a lot of Gentle Arts. Apparently I have a thread in there. This is where I'm at. I did do the border first. I'll try to move back for you. I did put those that small amount of lettering in at the Scottish Stitching Retreat. So it has seen a little bit of progress, just a very little bit, because I need to get some more threads. That's the problem. So I will put in an order for those shortly. I don't like to just order threads when I only need a few. So I am going through everything that I want to kit up, and I will get everything once and done. 7. Griefs and Sorrows, I think it's called, by My Big Toe. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. So I lost my daughter at Easter in 2023. I lost my mom on Valentine's Day in 2024. This is again being done on that same pink marble. This is all I have. I've started at the top outline. And I put it into temperature stitching because I would really like to get it done to hang on my wall. But it's been hard to work on, especially right now. So I thought by putting it in temperature stitching, maybe I can just get by that and get it done. And then we have 2 more. 8 is Scotland Mandala. This is my chatelaine. It also lives in a huge Stuarts and Stitches bag. It looks like this. All the little castles. There's some coos and sheeps all in 1/1. Lots of specialty stitches, lots of bling, lots and lots and lots of silks. I'm doing this on a piece of Pole Stitches fabric, but I do not remember the name of it. This is my progress currently on this. Now I've started at the corner. So I love stitching on this when I stitch on it, but it is a bit of to get everything set up to stitch on it, it's not good just for half an hour here and there. So I did choose this for temperature stitching, so I think that I will set it up and it'll be set up permanently near my stitching spot so that I can work on it as it comes and goes. Or what I might do is save up the stitches until I get to about 500 and then do them all at once on it. But this is the fabric, you can see. I need to stitch those ends in. It is even weave, 28 count because of beads. The eagle-eyed among you who have done this may note, let's see if I can bring this in again. You may have seen Stuart's Poison Garden, and I was like, yeah, okay, you go with those Jessica stitches, my friend. Up here is and here and various other places here and the opposite is supposed to be Jessica stitches. Now I did them 3 times in 2 of those places. I did do them. I did tutorials, I got help, and they were done, and they were okay. But that's the problem, they were just okay. I didn't like the heaviness of them against everything else. So what I did was I did cross stitches around, and then I am going to fill in with beads around them to give it even more bling, and that will make me happier, much happier. And then the last one, the last one, if it's 9, will be my Rome piece. And each of them, so each for temperature will get 100 stitches, because I am not going to get any stitches in on that roam piece if I don't find a way to do it. Although it is now not such bad weather here in Scotland, and I mean it's a beautiful sunny day today, so it won't be so bad. I do have a magnifier and a light. It's still, when it's too dreary outside, or dreich as we like to say, it's not not fun trying to stitch on black. And I don't have the best lighting in my house to be able to do it anywhere where I can stitch, so I do require the light. I do want to maybe see if I can get a light box or something to put underneath of it. So I think that is all the stitching. I do want to know what's in here. Oh yes, this was one of the gifts I received at the Scottish Stitching Retreat from my friend Jen. She made all of us at our table, our regular little group, a bag, and I have many, many bunny patterns in here for all seasons. A couple of them are kitted up. We'll talk more about them as we do it, but they just fit in there nicely. Although I have asked her to make me a portfolio like she did for my Prairie Schooler Santa's charts. But this will still have an active bunny WIP in it. So my spring bunny goes in there when it's not being lifted. I think that's it for WIPs. That's it for finishes. So I think that I will now just show you my little tiny bit of market purchases. I did get some stuff off the freebie table, and I was gifted a chart from Ali, Wee Scott in Yorkshire. But I think that I will save those for another video, for maybe when I start, or when I do a chart parade or something like that. I have a lot of stuff in my stash, so it's time to get doing them. The first thing I got was a Stitcher's Quaker by Misty Purcell. Pardon me. And this will go in my stitching room. I love it, but it's a lot bigger than I thought. And I am one of those people who did the monthly Quakers, so I know how much stitching is involved in a Quaker pattern. But this is 108 by 108. And they stitched it over 2 on 32 count cappuccino. I haven't decided. Fiber on a whim can be hard to get here in the UK. But yeah, a beautiful chart. It calls for 3 skeins of ribbon red by Classic Colorworks, which I do love, which I don't have in my stash anymore. I think I only have a tiny bit of ribbon red left. I don't know what color I will use, but it will probably be red, just because I fell in love with it as it is, and it will probably be ribbon red because I love that color. But yeah, I thought it was much smaller. It doesn't matter. I do love it. I love that the alphabet spells out stitch. This from Hands On Designs is Ladybug Picnic. This is for in honor of my daughter, but for my granddaughter, who, I call Boo Bug, for, ladybugs are our thing for her. So I just love it. It is pomegranate fabric, 32 count pomegranate fabric by Stephanie with Weeks Dye Works threads. So I need to go through this. There are some specialty stitches. I don't consider backstitch or long stitch really specialty, but it's in here, and Smyrna crosses, which are quite easy. Really? And you can get the white daisy button here from Just Another Button Company, the way it's finished. But yeah, there's Smyrna's down here. Down here in the flowers. So, and I see where there's long stitch in here. And the other thing I got, this is my first and only heart in hand Nativity Tiny Town. So a lot of us at our stitching retreat decided that we were going to have a tiny town stitch along, that we are going to start the weekend of the November stitching retreat. So I think that's the middle of November. I think it's around the 14th, 15th, something like that. And it's grown and grown. And it's some of us will be stitching this. Some of us will be stitching Christmas. Some of us will be stitching a seaside town. There's another one, I think Frosty Town. I'm not even sure. If you want to join us in November, you can stitch on any tiny town that you want. It doesn't have to be this one, although many of us, this is how it started. So, um, and you don't have to start it. It even comes with two little charms, two tiny, tiny little stars here. I'm not even sure where they go. Oh, one's behind the camel here, and one is here by what I think is a cow. Yeah, it's a cow. Oh, well, there you go. So we'll be starting that then. So I have lots of time to get that kitted up. I am going to attempt to finish a drum as a drum. What I will do, though, I will not do it as my first attempt with my finished piece. I will do it with some scrap fabric, try to get the drum made and finish it, and we'll go from there. I think that's all I have for you today. Plans this month, definitely keep working on my Innocent Dreams, Hey Bunny. I would like to get Spring Bunny finished. And I would like to get all that dang grass in the dog done if possible. It might not be because I'm adding in temperature stitching for the very first time, and we'll see how that goes. I'll give it a couple of weeks. We'll see how that goes. If it goes okay, you might get a video every 2 weeks. Or you might just get a video monthly if I don't have a whole lot of projects that have progress, depending on how that goes. And I am on standby imminently to travel home for not some very pleasant reasons. So if that happens, I'm not sure what will happen, when I'll get to doing a Flosstube, but we'll try. I definitely will get some stitching done while I'm away. And I think that's everything I have. If you saw this video and you liked what you saw, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you would like to see more. And then, you know, it's always good to have that indication that people are liking what you're doing. I'm out of practice, but I would like to get more regular about this again, especially now that I am going to be retired and I will have much more time on my hands to be able to film videos, to be able to stitch, possibly more than I have. Yeah, and the community is great. I will link Flosstubers I've mentioned below. If you have any questions, if I didn't tell you something, I haven't told you some of the fabrics, I guess, then please ask the questions and I will try to find the answers for you. And we'll get you sorted. Okay, so have a great April. I know it's April Fool's Day. I hope I'm not being a fool by doing this. I don't think I am. But dream in colors. Have good time stitching. Now I just have to find out